Alright guys, I will not lie, we have been on the struggle bus lately. So today we're going to be doing something a little unusual. I've got to fix some hoses on my truck. I was taking my mom to a doctor appointment and I noticed the smell of radiator fluid, and you can look down here and there's radiator fluid leaking already. But took my mom to doctor, opened up the hood after I saw the radiator fluid. My heart sank, and I noticed a spot where spewing out one hose. I was like, ooh, that's easy to get to. My wife came, brought me some water. I said, well, I'll just put water in it until I get some radiator coolant and fix the hose. And sure enough, I had a different leak in different locations. That means I have to find somebody that had a floor jack and some jack stands. They let me borrow them because I don't have any. But if you happen to do floor jacks and jack stands and you want to sponsor a video, please hit me up. I would like that. But at this point in time, I'm just fortunate to have good friends and family to help me out whenever I need help, and we're going to get this going. And before we get on with this radiator fix, this coolant issue fix, really I'm hoping it's just hose replacements. I do want to thank Stephen Page. He is the owner of 850 Barbecue. So if you live in Northwest Florida area, he does fantastic, true Texas style barbecue. And he's a great friend and brother in Christ, and he really helped me out because I didn't have floor jack or anything. I didn't have jack stands, and he's like, I know you're going to need this, do your video. So he provided that. So I just want to say thank you. So if you're in the area and you want some good barbecue, they have a food truck. Look them up. They're at Vents, all places, and they also take orders and do catering, so check them out. Okay, so I like to have a step ladder whenever possible, working in my truck from the top. Even though I'm 6'2" and I can reach a lot of spots, it just makes it so much easier. If you'll look, give it a little bit more light because my GoPro likes these lights. Also, this is the Workhorse light. I did a video about it. This is the HD03. Give them a shot. That's a wonderful little light to have. But if you look, you see it goes out the radiator, comes around on this Ram Gen 4, and it comes down here, and you see where it goes into the engine. But down there, down below, there's a little section, and that comes around. It's hard to see, but there's a good thing. Comes around and then comes out. So it comes. I'm trying to get a good view. It's hard to get a good view here. Anyway, it comes out from under this pipe here and goes up and around, and then it comes out under those two pipes here, and then it comes into this right here. So my finger, it's hard to see my hand, but my finger right there is on that hose. So you have to kind of work your way in. There's no way underneath to get to it, so all has to be done from the top, and it's very difficult. So some of this I'll have to do on the ground, some of them I'll have to crawl up into the top of the truck and get into. Not going to be an easy fix. Then the other problem right here, the reservoir. When you pop off the reservoir, you check your water level that way. Neat little thing that Ram's got. Right in there, that little overflow. When that water goes in through the overflow, it's coming out the very under part of this truck here. So it's just pouring out. So I gotta see it. I think it's a fitting that's disconnected. I think this is going to be an easy fix. After you get over 100,000 miles on a Ram truck, you need to change out your pipes, fix your pipes, or not pipes, but hoses, and make sure your hoses are actually secure. So we're going to do that. So first thing I gotta do is take that hose clamp off at the very top. So one of the things I've got to do is get around here and reach my hand through this stuff, which isn't easy. There's a fan here, and get my pliers. I got to expand that out. Got some adjustable pliers for this. Try not to drop my pliers. Get around the tabs. And squeeze. I'll go up one more. There we go. You can see I got water all over me, so that's leaking definitely. I'm gonna take that and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can take this cover off. Let's do that. I'm actually doing 2 installs at once. I'm fixing the hose, but I'm also doing the lights, and I'm thinking I need to take this fan cover off to do the actual hoses for the radiator. I have to take this off anyway for lights, and to get to fan cover I have to take this off. So let's do this, take this off and see if we can go from there. So just gently just kind of wiggle this around, pry it up any way you can. These are not the easiest things to come up, so be very gentle. They make nylon ones of these, it doesn't matter. Use metal, nylon, you can see where I broke that off. So be very careful. That was from a previous attempt at this project, doing the lights. So then right here, just gently wiggle it. There you go. If you have to get up under it, you can. However you can do it. I think this one you may actually have to get up under. That popped up easier that way. So I'm going with that. Now I can get up under this. Get some extra leverage. There we go. There's that one. There's that. And this one slides out from underneath. So once you got all these done, I can just slide that out. I ain't got to pop that one. So that's good. Move this off to the side. My plants there that I'm playing around with. And see about this cover here. Alright, so there is a thing right there. Thing right there. I don't know if I want to take that cover off. I really don't know if I want to take that cover off. Because I have to take this off. I think that's going to be more a problem than anything. So I'm changing my mind. Let's not do that. Like a true redneck, if something don't work, go to your fishing tackle stuff. So I've looked around. I think I might have something in my fishing tackle that might work. Now these some cheap old pliers I got. They're kind of like hemostats, but they're not. They're real long nosed, so you can get hooks and stuff, and then you can also use them to crimp things for sleeves for leaders. You can cut wire with them. They're a neat little set of pliers. I don't see them much more these days, but they used to be very common, very affordable. They was always kind of covered in some type of special coating that rubbed off very easily, and you can see the rust. So when you get in salt water, everything rusts. But the way that you keep them working good is you spray some WD-40 silicone oil. That silicone oil really does a great job of making sure all your parts work perfectly every single time, especially when you're dealing with anything involving water. So I'm going to see if this will work. Alright, so let's see if we can't get this going some way, somehow. Let's see. All I gotta do is get one or more of these ear flaps. Got it with both hands. Golly. They don't make it easy, do they, folks? I'm sure there's a tool that somebody would tell me is far superior to what I'm using. If you know of a better way, put it in the comments, just in case there's a next time. God forbid there's ever a next time. But somebody might use it. Somebody might need to know. I try to make things, they're just not an easy way to get your hand in there without taking out that fan. If they just put the thing on the side here, it would have been easy to get to. But they didn't do that. I would put it right there where I can get to it real easily. There we go. We're getting it slowly off. That's what I needed. Right there, folks. Oh, God. That just took a little extra finagling around. Tell you what, before I do that, when I'll reach in there and grab that other off of it. Alright. So this looks to be a lot easier. Somebody had some sense, maybe. See if I can get my pliers into that, but there's two, they have two hoses going in. See if you can go under. Looks like you're supposed to go under, maybe? That is not working. Got my fishing pliers, which have not worked in the past, but we're going to see if they work now. Here, let's see. Alright, just came back from Harbor Freight, so we're going to try these. This right here is some long reach universal hose clamp pliers. I've got doubts that's going to work. These were about $28 before tax. Then I've got these right here. These are some 11-inch 90-degree bent nose pliers, long nose pliers. And so we're going to see if one of these work. I'm sure that there's going to be somebody that comments I'm doing this all wrong. Again, if you think that you got a better way, put it in the comment section. Tell me exactly what I should have done right. Not that I'm going to follow you, because I hope to never have to do this again, but somebody else may be needing that advice. So I always advise my viewers to please be polite but honest, and the whole idea is that you help each other out, because I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and hopefully when I get done doing it I never have to do it again. So let's get started. I got my father-in-law here helping me out. So I've tried different pliers. I'm gonna try these, see if I can't get my hands in here. These are some 90-degree pliers. Got some others that might also work, but I can't fit them in.
Go right down in between them hoses.
Yeah, the problem is trying to get it to fit in there, if it will. Gotta fit. That's in there, but now this is the other issue. I don't have a that goes, but so can't get. Let's try this. Come on, there you go. There's no way that's going to fit in there.
If you
see, I can't get that under it.
can you get between the hoses where it's soft up here?
Like right this way?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Let's see if
That's gonna be too much of an angle. If you can go right
here
through here, and then still ain't gonna be able to get. It's where you could, if it was on top, you could mash it right there.
Oh yeah, they make it where you cannot get to it one way or the other. Alright, my father-in-law was able to finally get it off. Taking and running a flathead screwdriver in there, trying to force that spring clamp around, and then got it with the 9-degree pliers, and then finally got him with the regular pliers there for the clamps. So it took some doing, but he finally was able to finagle it around. Okay, so it looks like we took this hose off here, and inside in that housing is the problem. So we're going to have to take that out. So let me get some sockets and we're going to take that off. We're taking out thermostat as well. It just pops right out. So we're going to change out thermostat while we're here. And I'm about to cut that hose, and because that hose is not wanting to come off at the bottom, we're just going to replace the whole thing. So that right there is thermostat, the housing, and the hose. So I'm going to get that changed out, get me some replacement parts, also get me some antifreeze. And we'll be back and install that. Okay, so we talked about the Workos light and how fortunate I am to have them help us out, because I've used that light all day long. Now it's nighttime. We got the JCL GL light. Again, I thank them, because I've had such great sponsors in the past. I have the tools I need to do the jobs when I'm not sponsored. This video is not sponsored by anybody. Any shout outs I give is a genuine thanks and no other reason. I've been blessed and fortunate to have good friends, good family, and as a YouTuber, good sponsors. And I want to say that from the bottom of my heart to anybody that helped me out with this. Thank you so much. My father-in-law came. He offered to spend the night working on this. I told him, I said, go home. You got stuff to do. But he was, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. He worked at it. He didn't give up. He found ways around things, and together we was able to get it done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and clean that gasket out. That gasket, pretty easy to clean out, I think. And we're just going to get that cleaned and go from there. Yeah, pretty simple. Peeling right off. A fairly simple issue, and just make sure that there's no more goop or anything. If I need additional light, I got my Workos light. And then let's go ahead and put in a thermostat. Okay, so this is the actual thermostat. Fits in just real easily. Cleaned out the area that we did have the that sits in perfectly. It's always nice to see. I'm going to show you how these clamps work, because I was going to use screw clamps, and the guy at the auto parts place suggested I keep these. They're better, according to him, than the screw clamps. So I'm going to do what they say. Also, I was having a hard time getting this off, and he said that you kind of break it up around the ends around here, and that you just take it, that comes off. And I believe he's right. So I never seen that before, but he said that that's how you get it off, and that's sure enough how you do it. So nice little tip from the guy from the hardware store. Now this obviously had an issue right there. It's hard to see, but there was an issue. So what we're going to do is, that's the defective part. So when I cut this, that is 6829763, and then he came up with AA. That's a Mopar number, evidently. And as you know, I hate Mopar. Anytime some type of company uses Mopar, there's always some type of issue at play. And what happened is that with the Mopar, you have to buy the hose and the metal part. So by me cutting that, which I had to cut it because it wasn't coming off. I didn't know about the trick with the pliers. If I'd used, but try and get pliers around, near impossible. But because I did cut it, it is right at $120 because you can't get just this rubber. You have to get the rubber and the metal part and all the other assembly line stuff for this. And this is roughly 13 inches of pipe or hose. So what we did is, he said, look, if you're good enough with it, he just sold me the hose. We'll put the fittings on there, run it around, and for $6, roughly $6-7, I didn't have to buy $120-something part. So just letting you know, not putting in the original stuff or the replacement stuff for the original stuff, because you can't buy this. All right, so the little pliers trick, definitely do that. Now what we're going to do is, there is the replacement part right here. That right there was rather expensive. Shouldn't be this expensive, but it was. All total, everything that I bought was $90, almost, is a little over $90. So I've got about $140 total in this repair, buying the 2 extra pliers. But how much would you pay with a mechanic? That's the thing. So I would pay way more with a mechanic, I feel. I'm gonna put the hose piece on here. I need my pliers. It's so weird. You would think it'd be ratcheting or something other, the way that they got these set up, but they're not. And then press the button right here, opens up. All right, so this right here, we're actually going to put some water on here. He said wet the hose, so I'll be right back with some water on the hose to wet that. So I wet the hose like he said to do. Main thing is that you don't want any type of soap, oils, anything that would be going into your radiator, according to him. So that's the reason why you don't put all that stuff there and just use water. He did say you can use antifreeze, because antifreeze going through here and it would work as well, but he suggested just plain water. Alright, so this right here goes like that. I'm going to spin around this so that I can get to it easier. like that. That should do fine right there. Now, I'll run out and see here. We need, so I'm going to cut it right about where it says bar. Alright, so I'm using 5/8 inch or 16 millimeter Duralast heater hose, J20R30. So I don't know, that's the number there, 50276. That's what I'm using in case anybody wants to know. I'll go ahead and use this knife right here, razor knife. Fall. The hose is 25205, A as an apple 2. And hopefully this repair will last me for a good 100,000 miles. I never have to do this again with this truck. Now, this will fit onto here like that. Just like that. Now I will say, when you do this, make sure you have some type of collection system to get all that antifreeze, that's falling down below. You want to collect all that. Don't let it fall on the ground. All right. Now, with this, without kinking up too much, I want to oops, don't want to kink that hose up too much. That's $100 and something hose. Don't kick it up. Them hoses are getting expensive, y'all. I don't know why they're getting expensive, but they are. Alright, perfect. Now, why is it those things just don't stay like that when they have resistance? I don't understand that. I think it'd have more. I don't know what's going on. Oh well, never do. Alright, let's get this wet. No, I think I need to cut some. I really do. I'm going to go ahead and cut some. I'm going to cut, let's see. Need to cut about an inch off, because otherwise I'm going to be hitting that fan. There is a kink to it, and there's a reason for that kink, and that's to avoid the fan. Okay, we're going to try that. You can always take a little bit more off, but it's hard to add. So that should do it. I know that I'm not supposed to do this, but because I may have to do it again, I'm putting a little bit of Vaseline right here on this, because I've got a hose that I may have to take off more than once. Don't want to, but appears that may be the case. That said, go ahead, take this, go ahead, use my pliers to scoot that down a little bit more, just in case. Perfect. Just press. That shouldn't hit. I don't think. Shouldn't hit. Alright. Yes. Alrighty, we got that. That's there, that's there. That shouldn't hit the radiator. Thermostat's in. Alright, now we just gotta put in the bolts. I think I wrongly said that these were size 13. 13s were slipping on this. It's a ½ inch. So maybe 13s that they put in there, but they weren't fitting right, so. Alright, so I got a 50-50 solution of fresh antifreeze. Never would make a good moonshiner. Not saying that there's not moonshiners that were in my family tree. Just saying that wouldn't be a good one. Well, folks, as much as I want to start it up and check it and make sure it's going to be running right, I think that we need to call it a night. We can crank it up, see how it's running, and if it's running right, then we're good. If it's not, we'll check out what else we need to do. We still got to get under a truck anyway to look at some stuff, so I'd rather check it tomorrow morning when we got plenty of daylight, and it's getting late. This light is super bright. I'm making a lot of racket. I need to think about my neighbors, so I will see you tomorrow morning. Oh, again, big shout out, JCLGL. Thank you so much. And Workos Lights, thank you so much. And again, Steven 850 Barbecue, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. And to my father-in-law, Mark Payne, I really do thank you, sir. So I'll catch you again in just a second. It'll be tomorrow for me. Before we go in for a night, I think I want to go ahead and secure this up a little bit better than what I did. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to run it around one of these hoses, just so that fan doesn't hit. So I'm going to see if we had any decrease in the reservoir and also the actual radiator itself. So let's do that. Now my father-in-law believes that the leakage I'm seeing here is due to the fact that I went past the max line. Max line is in the middle of this. And because I went past it, then that's the reason why there's leakage at the bottom. That's just an overflow. So I'm gonna see if that's true. Friend Steven said that another thing is that there's a fitting at the very bottom that could be. So we're gonna check that out. Now down here, I'm seeing a lot of liquid. So let's see if we can tap that or get that topped off. All right. It took about, I would say, 2 cups of liquid to fill that back up, and I probably spilled out about another cup. So that's something with so much fluid being gone, I kind of expected it a little bit. I did turn it on last night just to do an initial test to make sure everything's right, and I didn't catch that on camera, but that was just to make sure everything was going good. Let's go ahead and get this capped off and get it running and see what happens. Alright, so this is all the liquid that was under the truck that didn't dry up. I'm hoping that's just from the water hose from last night where I sprayed as I looking around. Seems to be running good. When I turned it on last night, the reason why I did that is because I figured there might be some air that I need to get air bubbles and things out. I'm looking down here. I am not seeing any type of liquid dripping out. I am not seeing any type of liquid spraying out anywhere. So I am of the belief that with no leaks, no spraying, I think we got it fixed. But I do want to go and put this on jack. I want to put it on the jack, lift it up. I've got some jack stands, and I want to see if maybe there's something underneath that I didn't catch. But I believe this is done. I'm going to turn this off. We'll do an inspection later on just to make sure that all the fluid is popped off right. But I think that we're going to get some air pockets and things of that nature, and that's the reason why I wanted to make sure that we got that capped off as best as possible, because I think we'll probably have to add a little bit of fluid every now and then to all those air pockets get worked out. Already we're seeing some leakage down at the bottom, so we got issues. Alright, so got my Workos light here, thankfully, and we're trying to see, looks like I got to get this undone here just to have access. There's some little tabs right there. They love those little tabs. Oh my god, they love the tabs. So what we're going to do is try to get access under here, pull those tabs out and see what we got, and go from there. Nylon ones can be very difficult to use. Also, these tabs, they bend real easily, so that's bending over like a taco. It's not going to come out, so there's not much to grab onto with these. You work them side to side, go around side to side, try your best to get them out the best you can. Like I said, I really like the metal, so switching to metal, see if that will help out a little bit. But again, this is in a dip, so let me play around with it, get it out. I'll get all these out and I'll come back when it's done. We've had just a little bit, not much, of some drainage, so let's see how much, if we gain more drainage and where it's coming from. I got about a cup and a half of antifreeze I'm pouring in. That's topped off, so not seeing any air bubbles or anything of that nature, so that's good. Alright, so I am now under here. Got this pulled back. It's held in place by a few of those little pins. I wanted to see what's going on. I can remove this black thing right here if I need to. I don't want to, but I might need to. But looking at this, trying to figure out where a leak might be taking place. Not seeing anything that appears to be off. That leakage may have been overflow. If it is, that's good. This right here, that cover, it's all wet and was holding water, so that could have been it. I don't know, but looking at this, I'm not seeing anything that appears to be leaking water. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I have been wrong. It doesn't agree with me, but it happens. So let's turn on the truck and see what happens. Now, some of y'all may be asking, why did I turn on the truck? Some of this stuff is pressurized. Now, I've got a friend, Stephen Page, that I can get a pressurization kit from him, or a pressurization tester, and see how it does, but this is a poor man's way of pressurizing the system. And so I'm just checking and seeing if maybe it was just like some water that from that little plastic flap that was leaking down. It may have been some talk from overflow or whatever. If that's the case, we're good. So I'm just trying to pressurize this system right now and get it tested out good. If it holds, we're good. Alright, we got a leak started. Now we can track the leak. Alright, I'm under here, but I can't really see where it's taking place at, but it's pouring out. Well guys, it may have fixed itself, I don't know. So what's happening is that every now and then, just a little bit of radiator coolant will come out and then it'll stop. I think it's the overflow. I think that's what it is. I think I had it a little bit too high the water level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it and see if that works. If it does, we got a fixed truck. Alright guys, so we're back at the truck trying to work on it. It's been a few days later. Steven, he let me borrow his tester, pressure tester. I wanted to show you this. This is that stuff that I got from AutoZone. I started getting a bunch of garbage in here. I don't know what it is. The levels have not changed in my water, but I'm getting some garbage. Now, I wanted to show you something. I have here a black light, and this right here is my HD03 from Workos. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted the HD03 is that I was hoping it might be a black light, because it has this little function here that you do real quick, like that. But if you notice, there's no change, nothing. So this is kind of a pinkish purplish light. All right, now this is my black light that I use for my resin, my UV resin. It's kind of blue light. Look in there. See how it's reactive? Antifreeze is reacts under a black light, and I want to thank Steven for telling me that, because I did not know that until he told me. I am not a mechanic. This is a life channel, not a fishing or hunting or auto repair channel or anything else I do. I'm just showing you my life and what I'm doing at the time. So what I'm going to do is get this cleaned off, and then we're going to check out the pressure tester. This stuff has a texture and appearance of scrambled eggs. Nah, better not. I'll ruin my lunch. Alright, this is the Maddox pressure tester. It's a radiator pressure test kit. There's the number. There you go. That's what it looks like inside. A bunch of different caps that fit on it. Well, that's not a cap. This is one of the caps here. This is a cap. That's a cap. So I think you have 3 caps in total. And you got these 2 little things here that you fit them on. And then you got your little pressure gauge, your little pump. So we're going to fit and see. I think this is going to be the cap that fits on it. Alright, you fit this on. It won't go anymore. You do like that. Spins. There you go. Now we're going to pump this up. So pump it up like a tire pump. And what we want to do is we want to go to 16 psi. Okay, and as you'll see, there's different colored caps in there. The different colored caps, they tell you what psi to go to. So like the red cap right there tells you where to go to on that. Pretty self-explanatory. Now we start looking. I've been going over every little area I could. I find little pieces here and there where the radiator fluid has dried when it was messed up and splattered, but I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm gonna let this stay on there, but I'm telling you what, this is going into my truck, or I'm getting another one of these to go in my truck, because a black light, when you're having a radiator leak, is absolutely critical. If you do any camping, I've said it before, black light is critical, especially if you live in an area where there's scorpions. We don't have a lot of scorpions here, but if you live out west, these things make a scorpion glow like you wouldn't believe. Alrighty guys, so if you hear a clicking sound, it's neighbor airing up his tire. But I've looked, there's nothing dripping under here. There's nothing leaking with the black light. It's been now a good hour. Now it's leaking because I got water. There we go. Thing is, there's no like pressure gauge on here to turn it off. So like, I wish there was like a pressure release valve. That would be nice, but as far as I know, this has no pressure release valve. So anyway, we're going to get this off and then go from there. Again, I am not a mechanic. I'm not a professional in anything that I show on my channel, except that I am a certified mediator with Florida Supreme Court and USDA, and the Chief Financial Officer of the State of Florida for Circuit County Family USDA and insurance mediations. I also mediate in the state of Hawaii, or what they call the Commonwealth of Hawaii, doing landlord evictions. So unless it's something conflict resolution wise, or even business, because I have a master's in business administration, other than that, I'm really not professional at anything I do. I just do stuff because I have to, and I just show it on YouTube because somebody may be running into the same problem. And yeah, I try to show you what I do, not how to do it, but what I do. And if it works for you, I'm happy for you. If it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. At least you got one man's opinion on it. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and button this up. I'm going to call this good. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this will be the last of the snake bit videos. We can get out and do something fun. I'm going to try and make it out before it gets dark and go fishing for catfish. My wife may or may not tag along. Well, guys, got out with Tasha, and yeah, my brand new battery I just put into my GoPro is at 14%, and the boat ain't cranking. It's supposed, we got about an hour before it gets dark. I was gonna go catch bait, everything else, so snake bit still. But if you will, please like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit hype, that really helps out. And I guess I will see y'all again next time, whenever that is. Bye.